Shirley is an engagement manager and the head of research and intelligence. In the course of her work, she has gained insight on how service providers are reacting to the disruption of the industry by OTT players and discovering where they will be in the next 10 years. Will they lose out altogether to the OTT players, or will they be able to reinvent themselves? Shirley will clarify what's in store for service providers, dark days or renaissance. Please welcome Shirley Dan Ari.
So imagine the year is 2025. Office space in New York is becoming increasingly more vacant. Companies are willing to pay sky-high rent in Kansas City and in other Google cities. These Google cities are now the business centers of the world. They're wired with Google Fiber, Google Wi-Fi, and they're connected. Everything is connected, everything is seamless, everything is updated automatically. All the cars are connected, all the driverless cars are connected. They're connected to the city, there are no accidents. The vitals are sent to the doctor automatically. Everything is connected, everything is seamless. You get a device and it's connected anywhere in the world. You never have to worry about connectivity again. Travel abroad and it's connected. And there are no bills. There's no call centers. There's no service reps. I mean, why bill when you can advertise? And especially if you can advertise so accurately that it's actually not a nuisance, but it's a service. The older people still remember companies like AT&T and Verizon that used to exist, but younger people don't remember them anymore because Google now provides all of what they used to provide and so much more. This is, ladies and gentlemen, what we call the scenario of telecom dark days. Right? Our industry is constantly being disrupted by OTTs. They're eating away piece after piece of our traditional value chain. So it started with traditional communications with companies like WhatsApp and Apple with FaceTime, continued with video aggregation by companies like Netflix, and now they're disrupting the very core of our industry. They're disrupting access. Projects like Google Fiber, Project Loon, Google Fi, Facebook is now experimenting with drones and Internet.org and Apple SIM, and the list goes on. These companies have a culture of innovation. They have very deep pockets, and they have R&D budgets that our clients, the service providers, can only dream of. So the question is, are the telco providers doomed? So in order to prevent this, or in order to fight against this scenario, the service providers have to be proactive, at least in two different dimensions. The first is get the basics right. So invest in capacity, lower cost, increase efficiency, and better monetize the network. That's a no-brainer. They have to be better at what they're doing, and they have to be the best at it. The second dimension is that they need to operate in is they need to diversify and they need to innovate away from their core. This includes many, many potential revenue pools like MFS, connected car, connected home, IT and cloud services, and the list goes on and on. Service providers, they can't do it all, so they need to choose where they want to diversify to and where they want to invest in. And once they choose which area to go into, they also have to push themselves away from that connectivity space, right? They have to push themselves to own the customer. They have to push themselves to own the ecosystem. And each one of these spaces is very different. Different expertise, different players, different ecosystem. Right? So that's a lot of challenges ahead of these service providers. But imagine that they are successful in doing that. Right? The year is 2025 again. The telco providers or the service providers were so successful in increasing capacity and lowering efficiency that they actually managed to drive Google and Facebook away from the industry. Google and Facebook and other companies saw that the industry was going to ultra-high speeds anyway. Right? So they didn't need to invest in infrastructure, and so they slowly scaled down their investments and sold off their assets to Verizon and AT&T. They're also very proactive in going after the different new revenue pools and the different ecosystems. They become now the household names for connected home, for connected car, Businesses go to them for IT and cloud services. They've even managed to improve their trust within the customers. And the data breaches that Facebook and Amazon kept suffering didn't hurt them. So these companies really managed to reinvent themselves. So we painted two different scenarios for the year 2025. One of it is Doom Days, and the second, which we call Telecom Renaissance. Now, a lot can happen in 10 years. If you think 10 years backwards, smartphones with touchscreens didn't exist. The most popular phone was a flip phone, and when you said social network, most people thought about MySpace. Facebook was still the Facebook and nobody knew about it. Right, so there's a big question of where service providers will be in 10 years. And no one can really answer that question. But the one thing that is very clear is that service providers have to be very proactive in managing their future and reinventing themselves. And we need to think as a company, what's our role in that and how we can help them. That's it. Thank you.